What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Christian Hanna Horror. Welcome to Volume 2 of Horror Blu-rays I want you to own. You guys liked the first one, and I had great participation with other collectors in the comment section below. And now I want to bring more to you guys that I think you need to own. I'm trying to be responsible with this. I don't want to just put movies that are basically just extremely hard to find or out of print, because I want you guys to be able to get things that I think are essentials, especially if you're starting your Blu-ray collections now. Or if you just have missed out on these, I don't know. But without further ado, I'll give you 5, and of course, in the comment section below, I want everybody to help out, and let's all help build our collections. So coming in number 5 for me is a movie that I remember my buddy Pizzal reviewing, and once I saw it, I knew I had to see this movie, because I had no idea that's what this movie was about, especially with the name Charles Bronson attached to it. But boy, oh boy, do you guys need to get 10 to Midnight. And I also remember seeing comments about this in Volume 1, 10 to Midnight, 10 to Midnight. You guys are 100% right. It probably should have made the first list, but it's right here, smack dab in Volume 2. 10 to Midnight is, sure, a Charles Bronson film, who's great. I love Charles Bronson. But this movie is an intense slasher thriller. Wow, I loved it so much. Now, of course, this Scream Factory Blu-ray is great because it's got a great 4K scan, great interviews, great commentaries. It is fantastic. I love it. You guys definitely should add this to your collections if you don't have it. That's 10 to Midnight. Wow, love this movie. I give it a 10 out of 10. Coming in at number 4 is a movie that I try to always make time to talk about because it's truly one of the most amusingly bizarre movies I've ever seen. From Arrow Video, I highly recommend you guys pick up Evil Ed. Now, Evil Ed is a movie that literally cannot be described. You have to see it. It's this intense movie about a guy who edits video for a living in this big, huge building, and he gets transferred to the horror department. And all he does is edit these crazy, gory horror films all day, and it starts to make him lose his senses. And it's a dubbed movie, but it makes a Godzilla dub look like the most serious thing in the world. The dubs on this movie are some of the most funniest stuff I've ever seen, especially the producer in the movie. I cry from laughter. But this movie also has beautiful cinematography and some of the most amazing horror effects and creatures in it. I can't describe it. That's as much as I'll say. Now, this Blu-ray from Arrow is literally chock full of special features, interviews, making-ofs, commentaries, you name it. It would take you all day to get through this Blu-ray, not even including the movie, have you? But Evil Ed is truly a movie that horror fanatics need to see and own. This movie is such an anomaly. I can literally not think of anything even 10% like it. Evil Ed, please, I beg of you to check this out. Now, I can only speak for the release that I have of this. This movie has now gotten a 4K release, but I'm not sure about the features, what all is included with it. So I'm here to promote the release of this movie that I have, that I absolutely love, and it is my end-all be-all. If you don't have this, I beg of you, get your hands on Blue Underground's 3-disc limited edition Zombie. Wow, I know that there's still some floating around on Amazon as we speak right now, and the 4K coming out may suck up the rest of the customer base that may have been for that, which is a good thing if you're not a 4K person. Of course, picture quality on the 4K will be even better, but this is still a 4K scan, and the special features are fantastic, as well as getting the CD soundtrack. The soundtrack to Zombie is one of my favorite scores in the world. I absolutely love it. This movie is an absolute classic. It penetrated foreign and has invaded the US like nothing. There are some amazing Italian horror movies, and Zombie is one that has broken that glass ceiling. And regular people know about Zombie. It's iconic. The image of the zombie with the worms coming out of his eyes, it's everything. And the movie literally, I think, is that good. I think it's one of the greatest movies of its time. I love it. And this release is a great prestige release that will give you everything you'd ever want from the movie Zombie. Like I said, for the 4K release, I'm not sure of all the special features. I'm not sure if it's just the movie. I'm not sure if it's just the bonus material in the movie. But I know this one, you get the bonus material, the movie, and the great CD soundtrack. I think it's a really, really cool release. Please check it out if you don't have it. Now, the next movie. Again, I'm trying to do things that aren't out of print yet because I want you guys to be able to grab these at a moment's notice if anything entices you. Now, the next release is a movie that I think you must own, if anything. Scream Factory's The Exorcist 3. Now, this movie is certainly gaining its following now, but when I first watched this movie 10 or 11 years ago on Laserdisc, I was shocked by how scared it made me. I did not expect it whatsoever. I had avoided Exorcist 2 because I had always heard bad things. That may be a video for a different day, but when I got to Exorcist 3, I was just like, okay, let's just see if this is what kind of movie this is, because it seemed like it was not anything to do with Reagan in the first one. Wow. And this Scream Factory release is an absolute must-own. You get a great 2K scan of the film. You get the director's cut with the added scenes in it. Granted, they're not restored and great looking, but I could not live without those extra scenes now. I think it is a beautiful version of the film. I love the theatrical and the director's cut, but I always love watching the director's cut. I think it is just a haunting, haunting movie. George C. Scott, Brad Dourif, as well as the bonus features for this gorgeous release, interviews with Brad Dourif. You guys definitely want to hear what he has to say about this film. Brad Dourif is an American treasure, and this movie absolutely proves it. Great audio interview with William Peter Blatty, an absolute legend. This release is very stacked, very good. I love it, and I think you need to have it. And my number one for Volume 2. Now, all of these I think are important, but this one, wow. I'll put it to you like this. I had a certain life before this release, and once this movie entered the fray of my life, it's different. Wow. Suspiria 2-disc 4K scan Blu-ray. Now, they also have the companion 4K transfer 4K disc of this movie. 100% I think you should grab that if you're a 4K person. But if you're not, this movie is so amazing. This certain release is so incredible. Of course, there are great special features on this Blu-ray, but I'm really here just to talk about the image quality of Suspiria. I don't know what Argento did. I don't know how he filmed that movie, but the restoration of it looks better than anything shot in 2020 today. It truly blows my mind. Wow. I couldn't imagine watching a VHS of Suspiria or a DVD. The way this movie looks on this 4K restoration is hauntingly beautiful. Wow. It absolutely makes the movie a juggernaut masterpiece. Not that it already wasn't, but wow, now I couldn't imagine watching it any other way. Sometimes the boost in picture quality can really transform a film, and I do think that the Suspiria, for me, is a great example. I was never the hugest fan, but after getting this release and seeing this movie unveil itself with all of its beauty, I can't imagine not ever seeing it like this again. So definitely check out the 2-disc Suspiria Blu-ray from Synapse or the 4K if you have gotten to 4K. So that was Volume 2 of horror Blu-rays I think you should own. Please, again, in the comments section, all my Blu-ray collectors, let's help each other out. Even if you're a seasoned collector, let's see what everybody else thinks of what you need to have. And if you're starting to get into Blu-rays, again, you know about the big franchises. You know about this release. And you know about this release. But I want to get you guys into some movies that maybe you haven't jumped into yet, or maybe you've heard of, or if they've just fallen by the wayside. So, and you guys are helping me. In my last video, I saw some releases that I was like, oh, I need to get up on that. So thank you for that. For now, this is Christian Hanna Horror. I love you guys. We'll see you next time.